You know what's crazy? I'm actually happy you guys call it a podcast this because nobody really cares about that.
No.
Like men, I mean, I understand this whole women and men thing. I'm keeping a $100 right now. No one gives a fuck about the dad, all right? My dad was a very like serious guy. When you give him a beer or two, he was like the smartest man in the world and the funniest guy in the world, you know? But I'm actually like, I'm a daddy's boy for sure. I growing up in Jersey with my dad, I would say like the things that I learned from my dad were more like trade things. Like I learned to work on houses. I learned to work on cars. I learned how to be an honorable man. That was one thing he always wanted me to make sure I was, an honorable man. He would say something like, "Mira, don't be like me, okay? Don't be stupid." You know, like, all right. You know, so I would just, but he goes, "You gotta be honorable." I was like, all right. And what he was big on was, you know, whatever you say you're gonna do, you make sure you do it, right?
Well, look. So you mentioned the music. You know you went for it a couple of years ago. But when did the love for music actually start? When was the seed planted for that?
The people in my life that I have to thank are like my grandfather and some of my uncles and my father. My grandfather raised me for about 12 years of my life. My dad had a drinking problem. Even though he was a sweet man when he wasn't drinking, he was amazing. Too much alcohol would put him in the wrong place. So my grandfather played the role of my father for a while, and he raised me till I was 12. He passed away on my 12th birthday.
Sorry.
So no, it's cool. Like he's the biggest part of my life. Like I do everything trying to just live up to that man. That man was just an amazing person. It's like, well, I'm gonna sell PTSD, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're crazy. No one is going to download it. No one." I was like, "Well, I gotta try because otherwise we can't change this narrative." But then I said, "I think people will download it." To my surprise, bro, we ended up being like 5th place in Amazon downloads and iTunes. Like we were like killing it, and I was like, there was one part where I was above The Weeknd. I was like, what? There was a point when me and my dad, we didn't speak, and it was because of, you know, his drinking. My dad did something that, I love my dad, but he did something that was so messed up but also super hilarious, right? We're in the car, me and my brother are in the car with him, and we're taking him for a drive, and we're having like this intervention. "Dad, you need to stop drinking." And my brother is super emotional. My little brother is very emotional. That's just how he is. He'll cry if the wind blows a certain way, right? So he's with my dad, and he's like, "Dad, do you love me?" And my dad's like, "Of course I love you. I love you, goddammit, I love you." He's like, "Then throw that beer out right now." And my dad says, "You want me to throw this beer out?" My brother's like, "Yeah, okay." Who does it? My brother's face lights up, kind of like yours, lights up. And then my dad reaches down and goes,
absolute legend.
and I immediately was like, "Oh wow, this guy's a genius." You know, like, and my brother's like, "Dad, I thought you get some drinking. You said throw that beer out. I have enough." And I was just like, wow, like I was like, you can't get mad at him.